What is your voice worth? What are the values you hold about your voice? Most of us just speak without really thinking about it. But every time that you're speaking and your voice is recorded, be it on a digital device or through a microphone into some kind of recording system, it can potentially become somebody's data. My name is Jonathan Reus. I'm a composer, researcher, musician, artist based in The Hague. My artistic work has always been based in music and using music and performance to reflect on the myths and stories around technology. I've been working with voice and voice technology for about 7 or 8 years now. And I originally started working with voice technology because I was interested in finding something fundamentally part of the human condition. But then as I was doing this work with synthetic voice and vocal storytelling, the generative AI boom happened, and suddenly hyper-realistic voice clones were not only possible in small research labs, but actually anybody could start making them.
Red pajama today was a very tiring day, and I can't believe it.
From a composer perspective, that's very exciting. But from an artist perspective, and particularly like an artist who's generally part of communities, it becomes very concerning because unlike a lot of previous sound technologies that we use, these AI systems are gathering huge amounts of recorded sound and recorded voices. And very often these recorded voices are taken without consent. And this should give us a moment of pause, because we should ask ourselves whether we really want to reduce human voice to something as decontextualized as data. In datasets, there's a few key components. One is this relationship building with vocal artists along the sides of experimental vocalists, tradition-bearing choirs, who all sort of fall outside of the mainstream of the voice, let's say, vocal arts economy. And with those relationships, trying to create open, fair use data sets that come with licenses or come with restrictions that respect their values. Another element is bringing all of the vocal labor that goes into dataset creations into a sensible form that can be experienced by an audience. I've been working extensively with the prolific Dutch sound poet Jaap Blanc to develop dataset poems that can be performed in live situations. The dataset poems, or dataset poems, are inspired largely by the typographic experiments of the Dadaist movement. I was immediately drawn to this idea of creating typographical scores that could be used as the basis for an AI voice model. Probably one of the most important outcomes of this residency is a performance that I've been working on together with Jaap Blanc that will premiere at the ISIS Festival run by Pina and Koper. We call this performance the Blah Blavatar versus Jaap Blanc. The Blah Blavatar is a bit of a joke on the cultural obsession with artist avatars and AI digital twins. And the performance is actually a live performance of a dataset recording where we move from the very, very controlled and structured performance of one of our dataset poems into a kind of live battle between Yap and his vocal clone. Another part of the project has been to develop a unique voice synthesis instrument that's accessible, open, hackable, can run on a basic CPU, and we call this instrument Tungna, after the river of tongues in Iceland. And it's an instrument I've been developing together with the Intelligent Instruments Lab in Reykjavik.
Kind of stick through the text itself according to what it's learned about how.
I was very much interested in creating some kind of system where every aspect of the human voice could be explored, and especially the strange artifacts that come out of deep neural network-based voice synthesis, which usually are undesirable. I wanted to build a system that was allowing artists to exploit and play with these qualities. Throughout human history, voice has always been very intimately connected to space. And I was very excited to be partnered intimately with my main hub, PINA, in Koper, where the composer Mauricio Valdez is working specifically on spatial audio research. And together we worked to explore how to compose artificial voice in space. I've combined my expertise in instrument design and his expertise in spatial audio to develop some sketches in software and hardware for new instruments for creating intuitive ways of controlling spatial sound.
Encoder, so the gesture can be mapped of what is happening with the phone and then store it into a Maximus P patch.
The long-term goal of both Tungna and the datasets is to release them to the public, and to do so in a way that respects the wishes and values of the artists. At this moment, there is not a legal, behavioral, cultural, or technological framework for doing this. So a big part of this project has also been researching, well, what would we need to make that happen? So part of this project has also involved a lot of traveling around, giving presentations, meeting people in different locations, organizing public workshops, for example, one at Mozilla Festival, an expert meeting workshop collecting people from all of these different disciplines to weigh in on what their value systems are around voice data and voice AI. This project has allowed me to make the invisible labor of the voice in AI visible through performance, and has allowed me to explore how voice propagates through space and can be composed within space.
See this one there?
The project has introduced me to a huge network of researchers, scientists, composers, artists, and has sown the seeds for future work that I hope I will be doing for years to come.
It is the ethic of humans which determines whether the results of the work of scientists will be used benevolently in terms of present or future generations.